Do you think they're finally figuring it out?
Well, they have won 4 of their last 5. They're 1 win away from achieving the 5 wins I said they would need to give us all a sense of confidence, including themselves, going into the All-Star break.
Not to mention back-to-back playoff victories against teams you're chasing in the standings.
And you know, I probably should rethink my top 10 list of most hated rivals of the Preds and the Titans. Somehow along the way these past few years, the Jets fell out of my top 10. Everybody's hands go up, way up, as the National Predators defeat the Winnipeg Jets by a score of 2-1 Tuesday night inside Bridgestone Arena with the help of a solid 32 save performance by one UC Saros. The Preds rally back after giving up the lead only a minute into regulation with 2 goals by lesser known names on this roster. They beat the Jets with goals by 2 different guys who I suspect grew up rooting for the Jets, considering where they grew up in the prairie provinces of Canada. Now, with help on the out-of-town scoreboard with regulation losses by St. Louis, who is still behind you as you at a little distance, and Minnesota, who is just ahead of you, losing in regulation, the Preds climb within 3 points with 1 game in hand on the second wildcard spot, and believe it or not, the Preds are now only 2 points out of 3rd place in the Central. Second meeting of the season between the Preds and the Jets, the Preds having previously lost in Winnipeg back on December 15th, a game that was totally dominated by the Jets in regulation that UC Saros was able to get to overtime before the Preds lost 2-1. Believe it or not, these 2 teams still have 2 more games to go before this regular season is concluded. Preds not starting off on the right foot in this one, as barely 45 seconds into regulation, terrible clear out of the Preds defensive zone by Matthias Ekholm. The Jets keep it in, and eventually the puck winds up on Pierre-Luc Dubois' stick, and 48 seconds into the game, just like that, before the Preds fans have even had a chance to sit down, the Jets have a 1-0 lead. And I'm sure some of us were a little nervous, like, oh great, is this how it's going to be? You guys have learned nothing from Saturday? But no, that would be not the correct assertion to make there. 30 seconds later, after Stanley lays out Cody Glass, Alexander Carey would come to his defense, and him and Stanley would get into a bout, and maybe that would fire up the Preds because they would not allow a goal for the remainder of the first period. Preds begin to cycle well, and for a matter of 2 minutes, about 5 minutes into the first period, the Preds come close to tying the game right then and there, but Connor Hellebuyck, who would wind up standing on his cabeza in this game as a whole, starts working then and there to make sure the Preds don't tie the game. Jets would counter, and about 7 minutes into the first period, Nick Ehlers has a great chance to extend the Jets' lead, but he would miss a wide open net. Oh, are Preds ever so thankful for that missed opportunity. Believe it or not, that was one of the quickest first periods I have ever lived through, because after the 1-0 opening goal by Pierre-Luc Dubois, there was only 4 whistles, and then just like that, we're at the 5-minute mark remaining in the first period. Not good, I imagine, if you're a TV or radio advertiser. Just under 5 minutes left to go in the first period, just inside the Preds' blue line, Stanley, yes, the same Stanley who just got into a fight at the start of the game with Carey, lets a big booming shot go that Saros is able to get his pads on and keep out. Jets continue to own the play through the last few minutes of the first period, but Saros is able to keep every chance the Jets get them out after giving up the initial 1-0 goal. About 90 seconds left, there's some pressure in front of Saros. He loses his stick behind the net, but his Preds teammates come to his defense and clear the puck out before the Jets are able to do any damage, and Saros gets his stick back. Final seconds tick down in the first. The Preds muster one more chance to try and tie it in that first 20, but they can't, and the Jets maintain a 1-0 lead after the first. Preds start the second period with some solid pressure on fresh ice, but can't get the tying goal just yet. It is pointed out by Bally Sports South that Alexander Carey did not start the second period on the Preds bench, so the Preds could be playing with 5 defensemen in this game for its foreseeable future until its conclusion. Just over 3 minutes into the second period, the Preds playing in the mouth of the Lions' den in their own defensive zone, desperate to get a clear, but Mattias Ekholm unfortunately takes a delay of game penalty by putting the puck over the glass, giving the Jets the first power play of the game. The Jets would have some solid offensive zone time on that power play, but fortunately the Preds would kill it off. We passed the halfway mark of the first period, Jets still up by 1. It takes until just under 9 minutes left to go in the second period for the Jets to even record their first shot on goal in that period, showing that the ice has definitely tilted in the Preds' favor. They just don't have any offense to show for it. Fortunately for that shot on goal, so UC Saros doesn't get ice cold in the net, being untested. Preds continue to push to get a puck through that brick wall that seems to be forming behind Connor Hellebuyck's back, and just over 6 minutes left to go in that middle period. Off of a face-off win to Connor Hellebuyck's left, the puck makes its way back to Roman Josi, and through a screen, he knows where he wants to send this puck. He takes a shot. It makes its way through, and on the way there, it tips in off of Cody Glass's stick, his 6th of the year, the Winnipeg-born and raised boy who rooted for the Jets. Now he plays for the Preds. He has tied this game at 1. Preds continue to push because just over 4 minutes remaining in the second period, Blake Wheeler takes a hooking call on Roman Josi, and though the Preds had some solid looks, they just can't take the lead. Under a minute left to go in the middle frame, Jeremy Lauzon takes a tripping penalty that, in essence, as long as the Jets don't score in the second period, and they don't, it carries over to the third period. The Preds have gone halfway home in the right direction, tying this game at 1. And all you need to do is look at the box score to see that after 40 minutes, the Preds are heading in the right direction, because after the first period, the Jets were out shooting the Preds 15-13, but the ice has completely tilted the other way, and the Jets are very lucky not to be down after 40 minutes, because in that second period, the Preds were out shooting the Jets 18-5. It's clear as the third period commences that the Preds will be playing with only 5 defensemen for the rest of the night, as Alexander Carey still has not returned to the Preds bench. First things first, before the Preds can go on offense, they have to kill off the remainder of Lauzon's penalty that happened at the end of the second period, and they do, so they're back to even strength with the Jets. Just over 3 minutes into the final frame, the Jets cause a stir, get some pressure going in the Preds zone. Mark Scheifele with a great chance to reclaim the lead for the Jets, but UC Saros says, nuh-uh. And that would lead to some pressure the other way, because just over 5 minutes into the third period, the Jets are trying to clear in their defensive zone. But Tommy Novak gets the puck, and he makes sure the Jets cannot do that. He gets the puck on net to try and keep it in. It ends up going behind the net, and a man who is almost as badly snake-bitten as Rourke Morris on a Season 4 premiere of Yellowstone. Yes, I'm only watching it now. Do not spoil me any further. Oxbow, Saskatchewan's own Tannerstone gets the puck behind the Jets' net. Connor Hellebuyck, who has his back to him as he's trying to guard his net, can sense someone's back there. But before Connor Hellebuyck can slide over with his left pad, Tannerstone takes the puck, drags on the net, and quickly tucks it home. The Preds have retaken the lead. Tannerstone has his 4th goal of the season, a goal they cannot take back from him on a deflection. The Preds retake the 2-1 lead as Tannerstone fires up the congregation in Bridgestone Arena. Thank you to Bally Sports for this stat, because I never would have been able to figure out on my own. That is Tannerstone's first goal in 38 games this season. Props to the Preds, who don't sit back. They keep trading blow for blow with the Jets, including just over 8 minutes into the third period. Mattias Ekholm sends the puck out. Matt Duchene and Cody Glass are there, and it ends up on Cody Glass's stick, the puck, but he can't beat Hellebuyck. O'Connor then takes a holding call on Juuso Parson about halfway through the third period, and the Preds would ultimately go 0 for 2 on the power play in this game, but they were solid with the possession of the puck there so that the Jets didn't have any short-handed chances. Preds keep pushing, trying to get an insurance goal. Just under 6 minutes left to go in the third period now. 3-on-1 for the Preds because the Jets are trying to pinch, trying to get a tying goal. The Preds go the other way. Puck is on Matt Duchene's stick, and he can't put the puck in the net to put this game away. Props to the Preds for still cranking up the pressure because we reached the last quarter of the third period, under 5 minutes. The Preds are over 40 shots on goal, and the Jets haven't even hit 30 yet. 4.5 left to go in the third period. Another Preds on man rush. If only they could have just put one of these in the net, every Preds fan could have taken a big, deep breath, sigh of relief. This time, it's a 2-on-1. Once again, Matt Duchene cannot convert. But hey, at this point in the game, I'd rather the puck be in the Jets zone for the majority of the game, even if it doesn't go in the net, rather than it be in a Preds zone and me biting my fingernails hoping the Jets don't score. Every minute from here on out seems like it takes forever. Every Preds fan grips for dear life as Pierre-Luc Dubois, who's already scored in this game, is able to find some win and get past Roman Josi, but he can't beat Saros. We reach 2 minutes remaining in the third period. The Bridgestone faithful standing, rallying their family to the victory, not wanting to see those strange Canadians from Winnipeg, Manitoba come down and take over their family ranch, Bridgestone Arena. With 2 minutes and 4 seconds left, Connor Hellebuyck is summoned to the Jets bench. As with 6 attackers for the rest of this game, the Jets are going to try and tie this thing up. It's over 90 seconds left. The Preds have managed to get the puck into the Jets zone, but a shooting lane into the empty net is blocked. A passing lane to a better shooting lane is also blocked, meaning the Preds have to cycle back and set up again to try and get an empty netter, but prevent the Jets from getting the puck and going the other way. Jets with another push. Mark Scheifele hits the post behind Saros with 45 seconds left. Soon after that, Tannerstone seems to be interfered with, and no penalty is called, much to the chagrin of Tannerstone and also a much more angrier Mattias Ekholm. 20 seconds remaining in regulation now. The Jets call a timeout, trying to think of something, some way to steal 1 point, maybe 2 if they can get this thing to overtime or the shootout. Nick Ehlers with another post hit behind Saros with about 15 seconds left. Preds cannot clear the zone. Jets keeping in it. The puck comes right in front of Saros' net, and just about 5 seconds left. Yakov Trenin is forced to take a cross-checking penalty, which I think was the right call because it prevented a scoring chance. After some review, I think they put about 6.2 seconds left on the clock, and the Preds win the ensuing face-off, keep the puck behind the goal line to Saros' left. Clock runs down to 0. Preds win a big game against a Central Division rival by the final score of 2-1. You know what told me the Preds were going to win this game tonight? They did the little things right after they took the lead. After they took the lead with depth scoring, they didn't turtle in the third period. They were outshot in the end at the end of the third period, but not massively because they kept the pressure going back against the Jets. That last second penalty taken by Yakov Trenin was key because it took away a Jets scoring chance. This team is not intimidated by a team that is fighting for the division lead in the Central Division. After all, they took this team to overtime in their building last month. Now, this team has come so far these last 2 weeks, especially after Thursday's embarrassment in St. Louis, considering how they rallied back in this game and last Saturday against Los Angeles. Can they get themselves one more win Thursday against the Devils, which will be back home in Bridgestone before the All-Star break? Dig deep one more time, boys, then you can rest for almost 2 weeks. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like it. You can find my social media by clicking on a channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption as this channel ekes closer and closer to 300 subscribers. And I guess all that's really left to say is I really can't stand the Jets.